Alrighty, let's review some ratios and proportions so you can do well on your quiz retake. Okay, it says Andre is making cookies with a recipe that uses 1/2 a cup of butter to 2 cups of brown sugar. What is the ratio of butter to brown sugar? So we're going to take the amount of butter, which is 1/2 cup, and compare it to the amount of brown sugar, just 2 cups. So the ratio is 1/2 to 2. Or if we want to write it as words, 1/2 to 2. Okay. This one says, in a box, there are 7 caramels, 2 mints, 3 chocolates, and 3 suckers. What is the ratio of mints to caramels? So I'm going to see there's 2 mints, there's 7 caramels. Okay. So since the number of mints was listed first, I'm going to put 2 first. And then the number of caramels is 7. So the ratio is 2 to 7. Okay, next. In a class, there are 22 students and 3 teachers. What is the ratio of teachers to total people in the room? Okay, well, there's 3 teachers. And then the total people in the room is going to be the 22 students plus the 3 teachers. So there's 25 people in the room. So this is as a colon with words. And then as a fraction, it would be 3/25. Those are all ways to show the same one. All right, let's get into some proportions. Remember, a ratio or 2 ratios are proportional if their values are equivalent, okay? So what we can do is we can take our first ratio and write it as a fraction, 1/2 over 9, and I want to see, does that equal the second ratio as a fraction, 3/2 over 12? And then cross multiply. Let's color code for this one. Let's take 1/2 times 12. Does that equal 9 times 3/2? To multiply this, I'm going to make 12 into a fraction by putting it over 1. 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2. Same thing, I have to make this 9 into a fraction by putting it over 1. 9 times 3 is 27. 1 times 2 is 2. Those are not equal to each other. Since they are not equal, these are non-proportional. So we're going to do the same thing for these. Write them as fractions, 6 over 15, 9 over 22.5. Then we're going to cross multiply. 6 times 22.5. Is that equal to 15 times 9? Six times 22.5 is 135. 15 times 9 is 135. Those are equal, so this one is proportional. Okay. So solving a proportion, you're going to do the same steps as checking for a proportion, but then solve the equation within it. So I'm going to rewrite this one as a fraction, 7 over x, and this one as a fraction, 4.9 over 9.1, and I'm going to cross multiply. 7 times 9.1, x times 4.9. So 7 times 9.1 is 63.7. X times 4.9 is 4.9x. Then I need to solve. I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to undo multiplying by 4.9 by doing the opposite, which is dividing by 4.9. What I do on the side with the variable, I have to do on the other side. Divide by 4.9. And x equals 13. Okay. Same thing, we're going to write these as fractions. X over 13, set it equal to 11 over 143, and then cross multiply. X times 143 equals 13 times 11. Okay. X times 143 is 143x. 13 times 11 is 143. And then we solve for x. So I need to undo this multiplication by doing the opposite, which is division. Okay. 143 divided by 143 is just 1. So x equals 1. All right, last one before word problems. Write them as fractions, 1/3 over 5. It's going to look scary, but it's going to be okay. And then 1 over x. And then cross multiply. Take 1/3 times x. And 5 times 1. 1/3 times x is 1/3 x. 5 times 1 is 5. To undo a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal, which is where we flip it. So I'm going to multiply by 3 over 1, which is just 3. That makes this go away. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay. And this one says a dozen donuts, which is 12, costs $30. How many donuts can you get for $45? Okay, so we're going to write the ratio of cost to number of donuts. Okay, 12 donuts is $30. So $30 to 12, and then $45 to we don't know how many donuts. So I'm going to use D for donuts. Okay. We're going to write them as fractions, 30 over 12. $45 over D, and then we cross multiply. So 30 times D equals 12 times 45. 30 times D is 30D. 12 times 45 is 540. Then I divide by 30. So 18 donuts. Okay. All right, last one. The scale on a map is 1 centimeter is 1 centimeter to 15 miles. So for every 1 centimeter you measure, you go 15 miles. You measure that 2 cities are 7.2 centimeters apart. How far apart are the cities in real life? So we're going to take centimeters, all right, it's over here, to miles. The scale is 1 centimeter to 15 miles. What you measure is 7.2 centimeters to we don't know how many miles. I'm going to use m for miles as my variable. Okay. So I'm going to write them as fractions. 1 over 15, and then 7.2 over m, and then cross multiply. I'm going to take 1 times m equals 15 times 7.2. 1 times m is just m. 15 times 7.2 is 108. So 108 miles.